Hello, my name is Quinton Hennigh. I'm going to speak to you today about White Rock Minerals Limited, an Australian listed explorer who is exploring in North America and Australia. Before I begin, I'd like to draw your attention to the disclaimer and cautionary statement. This is posted as part of the corporate presentation on the company's website. The company is listed on the ASX under the symbol WRM, and it also trades on the OTCQX under the symbol WRMCF. White Rock is exploring in Alaska, but also in Australia. This gives the company year-round exposure to exciting exploration stories. I'm going to talk to you about the assets one by one and give you a little flavor for the excitement behind this company. Here you can see that they are a diversified company, both geographically as well as in terms of the commodity endowment. You can see the resource at Red Mountain, for example, polymetallic, has a lot of zinc, silver, gold, lead. And then the resource at Mount Carrington has considerable precious metal, both gold, silver. Woods Point, a very exciting gold asset, recently acquired through a transaction with Ozstar, an acquisition of that company a few months ago. Combined JORC resource amounts to 700,000 ounces of gold, 76 million ounces of silver, as well as a huge endowment of zinc and lead. I'm going to talk to you today first about Woods Point Gold Project. This is in the Victorian goldfields. In fact, it is one of the largest goldfields within that very, very important district in Victoria. It's become very famous recently because of the Phosphorus mine, which is to the west. Woods Point is the main focus, though, for White Rock in this important gold field. You can see here their land position. They have a commanding position across the Woods Point area, and it includes historic mines as well as a large inventory of high priority drill targets that are basically sitting there ready for somebody to come along and test. You can see a little bit of data here about some of the historic production. Many of the mines in this region were very high grade. You can see, for example, Rose of Denmark was 12 grams, Lady Clare 13 grams. You can see down at the south there, the El Dorado mine, for example, was 30 grams. All of these mines have produced a few tens, perhaps a few 100,000 ounces. Biggest is the Morning Star at 850,000 ounces. Why is this an important district? Well, when I see high grade like this in a shallow orogenic setting, it's very exciting because this is way underdone in terms of exploration. This is kind of the picture that existed at Fosterville in the early days, and look at what that's become. This is truly a world-class opportunity for a junior company. Here you can see the Morning Star mine in profile. The geology is a diorite dike. It goes quite deep here. You can see the profile is over 1,000 meters. The little green lines there are the veins that formed as that dike was fractured. Basically, the thing's been broken up like Jenga blocks, and in between the blocks you can see these green veins, which are high-grade quartz veins that made this an exceptional mine. In fact, Western Mining got its start at this very important deposit. The company is focused in two areas. They're focused on drilling up in the upper portion of the system, looking for low-hanging fruit, unexploited veins that are remaining in the shallow parts of the mine. But they're also starting to test what's called the gap zone, an area where there has been very little exploration, but should host a number of high-grade structures, undiscovered structures. So the company is focusing their efforts there now. And the effort here is really two-pronged. At the Woods Point Gold Project, the company is exploring at a regional scale all of those very, very juicy, high-grade targets that I mentioned earlier, as well as in and around the Morning Star mine, where they plan to focus on underground exploration with the intent to recommence production once sufficient ore reserves are identified. I'm going to now take you to Red Mountain, give you a little bit of a picture of what's going on. Here, it's an exciting project. It's really a combination of two completely geologic models, but both are world-class opportunities. The land position, the Red Mountain and Last Chance projects sit south of Fairbanks. This company has put together an absolutely massive land package of 836 square kilometers. The resource that's been defined at Red Mountain is of VMS nature. It's basically a polymetallic volcanogenic massive sulfide deposit that has considerable zinc and lead, as well as precious metal, including silver and gold. This is a very exciting project in my view because it reminds me a lot of other great mines in the state of Alaska, notably the Greens Creek VMS system, which has been mined for several decades now. Now, it's a very precious metal-rich VMS, much like this one at Red Mountain. The company has been diligently exploring here for really just a few years now, and they've identified a number of targets I'll be talking about in a very, very broad span that stretches from east to west, clear from the Last Chance area all the way over to the Red Mountain side of the property in the east. The Dry Creek and West Tundra Flats targets have been drilled, and that is where the existing resource is defined. Here you can see a long section of the Dry Creek system on the left and a cross-sectional view on the right. Very high grades of zinc, lead, and silver, and a bit of gold, as I mentioned. Recently, in fact, this summer, the company drilled a deep hole underneath one of the higher grade parts of this system. They hit a whopping 5.8 meters of 11.5% zinc, 3.4% lead, 69 grams silver, 0.8 gram gold, as well as a bit of copper. This shows that the system is alive and well and should grow steadily from here. Here you can see some geophysics that shows that we have a major trend of VMS potential, including the newly identified Kiwi trend, which is along the southern margin. The company has staked that ground, so that black line can now be extended into that important terrain. But basically, the company has a huge inventory of high-quality targets they've identified, and it includes things like this. You can see some of the samples collected this season. These were collected at surface from the Kiwi trend. It returned incredibly high grades of zinc, lead, silver, copper, and gold from the Kiwi trend. They did geophysics through this belt on a couple targets that have now shown very strong EM conductors, and this area has a number of drill targets now ready for exploration next season. Also present at Red Mountain in the Last Chance area is a very high quality Tintina Gold Belt type gold target. This project is called the Last Chance Gold Prospect. You can see here a very robust gold and arsenic anomaly associated with a broad area of intrusives that have come up into metasedimentary rocks. This is a shallow orogenic system. Without going into huge detail, it's basically a very high-level orogenic system which is ripe for high-grade gold discovery. You can see here that it is associated with intrusive rock, for example, over here. So it is what we call an intrusive related gold system. Okay, why is this important? Well, last year the company attempted to drill at Last Chance, and they drilled very high in the hills. But this year they recognized that the gold system's probably a bit deeper. Some of the sampling they undertook this season has returned very good gold values at some of the lower elevations in and around these hills. I believe the company is now well positioned to go back into Last Chance and make discovery, such as what you see here at the Pepper Gold Prospect. Now, lastly, I'm going to talk about Mount Carrington. This is the most advanced project in the company's portfolio. It is gold silver. It is in New South Wales. This is actually under earn-in joint venture with ASX-listed Thompson Resources, who have a commanding land position throughout this district. And Mount Carrington, they anticipate putting into production alongside some of the other projects they have in this area. This is a compelling case that generates a lot of cash. The free cash flow you can see here projected at Australian $2,300 gold is about $126 million. It is absolutely a stellar project. And because Thompson Resources is taking this forward, White Rock does not have to put up much cash to advance this. They basically get free carried. To sum up White Rock, here you can see the capital structure. They have 142 million shares out. The current share price of about 30 cents Australian gives them about a 42 million Australian market cap, which is minuscule compared to the value they have within this portfolio of projects. You can see the top 20 shareholders. Crescat Capital is the group that I represent at 8.1%. It's an exciting story available in both the Australian market as well as on the OTC. I would encourage you to follow up with this company with these contacts shown on this slide. Appreciate your attention, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.